Pum! Santa's got a six-pack!
Ho ho, bah humbug.
Well, good luck surviving this!
No!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 animated Christmas villains and doubters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7!
For this list, we're looking at those cranky cartoon characters who just can't stand the holiday season and are driven by an absolute hatred of Christmas. And the grumpier, the better. They can be TV baddies, straight-to-video villains, or movie meanies, just so long as they're nasty, naughty, and nauseating
with a nauseous super nos.
Number 10. The Miser Brothers, The Year Without a Santa Claus.
They got away! They got away!
Here you're getting 2 for the price of 1.
He's Mr. Icicle. He's Mr. Tenderloin.
Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch.
He's too much.
The Miser Brothers are basically the claymation version of Cain and Abel, only with less murder and more ragtime. These guys control the world's weather, with Heat Miser running the sun and Snow Miser in charge of, you guessed it, snow. But the brothers really don't like taking turns when it comes to the temperature.
I told you he wouldn't cooperate.
Cooperate? Surrender the North Pole you call cooperate? A good mind to chill your embers for you.
Oh, yeah?
They won't even stop feuding long enough to help save Christmas. Well, not until their mom shows up to make them behave. Talk about childish.
Santa needs some examples of the Christmas spirit, and we must set a good example for the people down there to follow. So, boys, police!
Number 9. Robot Santa Claus, Futurama.
God rest ye merry gentlemen in peace.
He knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're on the can.
I'll be back for you after I collect my milk and cookies from starving orphans.
He's a 4-ton monster with really high standards, and unlike most of the bad guys on our list, this dude will actually kill you. A creation of the Friendly Robot Company, something went wrong with SantaBot's programming, and now he visits Earth each year with a wide array of heavy weaponry.
Please let us live. We'll put out milk and cookies for you.
You dare bribe Santa? I'm going to shove coal so far up your stocking you'll be coughing up diamonds.
If you end up on this guy's naughty list, and trust us, you will, he might just turn your intestines into tinsel.
The scammers cheated me out of my naughty list to use for telemarketing. Can you imagine the harm they could do with that information? I wanted to do that harm.
Number 8. Professor Hinkle, Frosty the Snowman.
Now, Professor Hinkle was just about the worst magician in the world.
Despite his impressive stash and dapper bow tie, Professor Hinkle is the worst magician in the world.
And so, I put the magic eggs into my hat. Abracadabra, to coin the phrase. And voila, the eggs have turned into...
He's also a Class A jerk with a bad habit of repeating himself, in threes.
Messy, messy, messy.
After a typically terrible performance, this crummy conjurer tosses his top hat into the garbage. But one man's trash is another man's treasure, and the hat gives life to our friend Frosty.
Happy birthday!
That hat brought Frosty to life.
When Hinkle discovers it's actually magic, he decides he wants it back, even if that means killing everyone's favorite talking snowman.
But you can't take that hat back. It brought Frosty to life.
He actually goes so far as to lock Frosty in a greenhouse. Man, that's cold. Or hot. Or whatever.
If you so much as lay a finger on the brim, I'll never bring you another Christmas present as long as you live.
Number 7. Burgermeister Meisterburger, Santa Claus is coming to town.
A mean old grouch of a fellow who was known as Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Now here's a guy who knows how to ruin a good time.
Huh? A toy? As I suspected. I hate toys.
After all, he's the mayor of a place called Sombertown. After a traumatic experience with a toy duck, this crotchety coot outlaws all the toys in his town.
Have it known throughout the land from sea to sea. There'll be no more toy makers to the king.
So, when jolly Kris Kringle shows up with a bag of goodies, the mayor puts Santa on his naughty list.
Arrest this man immediately.
Of course, without this grumpy geezer, Santa wouldn't have his beard and his reindeer wouldn't fly.
Pretty grand, eh?
So let's show some thanks to this claymation crank.
We Meisterburgers shall hunt them down throughout the land. Those rebels will not have one moment's peace until they are captured again.
Number 6, Cousin Mel, Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I've always loved a man in tights.
Look up gold digger in the dictionary and you'll find a picture of this red-headed bloodsucker.
Grandma, if this store were mine, I'd sell it.
Desperately wanting to sell her family's general store, Cousin Mel pulls pretty much every move in the bad guy book.
I've got an idea. You just make sure Grandma stays missing.
Ruin a recipe with nasty ingredients? Check.
Ha! I don't know who buys your cakes and cookies, but this will for darn sure make everyone sick. That ought to stop people from shopping at the store.
Cover up the disappearance of an old lady? Check.
I'd like to know where Grandma is.
Frame old Saint Nick for kidnapping? Check.
Since Grandma is nowhere to be found, and the man in the red suit here admitted he ran over her, I demand that you have Santa arrested for the disappearance of Grandma.
But her greatest claim to villainy is her bizarre musical number, Grandpa's Gonna Sue the Pants Off of Santa. Looks like Cousin Mel had too much reindeer nip.
Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. Santa's going for a ride.
Oh,
Number 5, Ben Haramed, the Little Drummer Boy.
Sir Valley, the Little Drummer Boy, Aaron.
While not as iconic as some of the other Rankin & Bass holiday specials, the Little Drummer Boy does feature one of their most sinister scoundrels.
Oh, with this marvel in my show caravan, I will be as rich as Solomon.
The head of an unsuccessful traveling circus, Ben Haramed gives new meaning to the word greedy.
Stop struggling, boy. There is money to be made. We can be rich.
He's so money hungry that he kidnaps a kid and forces him to play music in his caravan.
Is it all illegal? Why can't the animals smile? Why can't the animals smile?
But Haramed really crosses the line when he sells the Little Drummer Boy's pet camel.
You strike a hard bargain, player.
I've had a hard life.
And what is a villain without a proper bad guy song?
When the day is good and the wind is dry and the goose is hanging high, I can't work like other men do when the goose is hanging high.
Yeah, this guy has problems.
We're done with him.
Number 4, Oogie Boogie, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
'Cause I'm Mr. Oogie Boogie, and you ain't going nowhere.
Sure, he looks like a burlap sack, but this boogeyman is a genuine psycho.
Well. What have we here? Santa Claus, huh? Ooh, I'm really scared.
An outcast from Halloween Town, Oogie Boogie lives in a casino-themed dungeon where he spends his time eating bugs and murdering hapless victims.
'Cause I'm a gambling boogeyman, although I don't play fair.
Yeah, he's kind of a serial killer.
You better pay attention now, 'cause I'm the boogeyman.
Even worse, he wants to torture Santa Claus. This super spooky sadist is a big-time gambler who loves playing with people's lives, and he doesn't have a problem with cheating.
What? Snake eyes? Good. 11.
But hey, give the guy points for inventiveness. That's one impressive evil lair.
Bye-bye, doll face and Sandman.
Number 3, the abominable snow monster of the north, also known as the Bumble, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Most important of all, he taught his son to beware of the abominable snow monster of the north. He's mean, he's nasty, and he hates everything to do with Christmas.
He's big, hairy, and really dislikes Christmas. Well, at least it seems that way, what with all the yelling and attacking.
Gadzooks, the Bumble Snow Monster of the North strikes again.
This Yuletide-hating Yeti enjoys gobbling up anyone who dares to cross through his mountains, especially would-be dentists and runaway reindeer. When the Bumble captures Rudolph's parents, the spunky little reindeer finds himself outmatched by the biggest bad guy in the North Pole.
Now, Rudolph knew that he had to find his folks right away, and he knew where he had to look. The cave of the abominable snow monster.
But hey, it's nothing a pair of pliers can't solve. Fortunately, the Bumble eventually finds his Christmas spirit and discovers he's also pretty good at holiday decorating.
Looky what he can do!
Number 2, EbenezeraScrooge, Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Christmas, eh?
Probably the most famous Christmas story ever. Well, other than that one about the baby in a manger. Charles Dickens' timeless tale has been adapted for the screen multiple times.
Humbug. What's so merry about it?
In animated movies alone, Scrooge has shown up frequently, once as Mr. Magoo and once looking strangely like Jim Carrey.
If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
But his most memorable animated appearance may be in Disney's Christmas classic.
I'll tell you what Christmas is. It's just another work day, and any jackanapes who thinks else should be boiled in his own pudding.
As a greedy bird with a Scottish accent, Scrooge McDuck became the quintessential holiday villain for an entire generation.
Well, you realize if you give money to the poor, they won't be poor anymore, will they?
Before we unwrap our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
But nobody ever gives mean old Warlock a toy.
I'd like to start a new custom.
Never man shall right this wrong.
I can't let you do this, Quilgan.
You don't have a choice.
I rule with an iron hand. I get whatever I demand.
Number 1, The Grinch, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season.
You've got to be really rotten to disguise yourself as Santa, your pooch as a reindeer, and steal presents on Christmas Eve.
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present.
That's why there's no nastier villain than the Grinch.
The 3 words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote: stink, stank, stunk.
Sick of all that Who Christmas cheer, this grouch decides it's time to cancel the holidays.
I must find some way to keep Christmas from coming.
Not only does he have the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, he sounds just like Boris Karloff.
There's one thing I hate. All the noise, 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 noise.
Of course, he'd probably blame it all on his heart condition. But fortunately, even with the termites in his smile and garlic in his soul, this Grinch manages a change of heart in the end.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then the true meaning of Christmas came through, and the Grinch found the strength of 10 Grinches, plus 2.
Do you agree with our list? Who are your favorite animated Christmas villains? For more Yuletide Top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
My God, the real Santa! Get him, Jesus!
I help those who help themselves.